We want to talk today about estimates, the word estimate, and a word, I guess, we've made up called exactimate. So, an estimate is an estimate of what your project may cost you. It's not an actual price down to the penny of what it might cost you at the end of the project. So occasionally we have some clients who are upset about this. But even in my own life, when I have people come to my house, or just recently, I had one of our vehicles wrapped. I was given a rough price off the bat just by them taking a look at the car real quick. And when the car was done, or the truck was done, my price was higher. I didn't really question that. I knew in going in that things change as they're doing their work. There's more difficulty. They didn't know the total design beforehand, and that's just the way it is. With painting, what we do is give a virtual estimate or one over the phone when they're explaining the project. They send some pictures or some videos in. It's a rough idea of what the project may cost, um, and then we explain that potentially, if we come out, if we're within your budget, are you okay with the cost being higher than I'm telling you on the phone right now? Because invariably, there's going to be things that you see or can't see once the project begins that could increase the cost. And that's not something the contractor should have to bear. There could be it could be many different things. One great example is wall covering removal. When you want to take the wallpaper off your wall, there's just so many unforeseen conditions for a painter or for a contractor. There's no possible way to give an exact price for that. And if you try to give an exact price, either the customer's going to be unhappy or the painter's going to be unhappy. It's going to be either easy, super easy, or very hard. And we don't want anybody to lose money. We don't want to overcharge anybody. Typically, a project like that we're going to do hourly. But another great example is exterior painting. So if I'm taking a look at videos or pictures, that's all they are video and pictures. I can't see the condition of the surface. Even when I go out to the house, or as you as an estimator or a homeowner, we come out to your house, or you're even looking around. There's no way to see 40 feet up in the air, 32 feet up in the air, and nobody is going to do a 100% very detailed inspection of the home to be able to capture every little thing that goes into pricing a home. What happens? We start the project, we come out. If we run into something, we stop and we come and have a discussion. Usually, our project manager or our lead painter will have a discussion with the homeowner and explain. Typically, it's rotted wood where it needs to be either patched with an epoxy patch or it needs to be replaced by a carpenter. They're not things that are covered under the normal scope of a repaint. Uh, they're mostly impossible to see unless they're down at eye level and the estimator sees them. It could be an interior painting job where we've estimated the project, but you didn't know your color. When the project starts, oh, we forgot to tell you that we picked a or chose a very deep red color. Now we know as painters, most likely it's not going to cover in two coats. Sometimes it takes three, sometimes it takes four. We've had it where it takes five, depending on the base that they make the paint in. You can certainly add primers underneath, which maybe will help you reduce the number of coats. But now you've added a primer coat. That's additional money. We won't know that before the job starts. We won't know how many coats we have to put on the wall until we're in the job. So it's not a free for all where we just keep doing free work. We are in business. So it would be additional cost to the homeowner, and the right way to do that is to speak to the homeowner and let them know that, hey, we have an issue, small issue, and it's not going to cost that much more, but we're here. The walls are open. All we have to do is buy another gallon of paint, and it might take 2 hours, and this is what the cost is going to be. If we have to put additional costs or additional coats after that, it's going to cost this. So I just believe in communication. Uh, throughout any project. So sometimes we have issues with coats. Front doors are a great example. Usually front doors, people choose those very bright, bold colors, yellows, bright yellows, deep reds, deep greens. Um, no matter what paint you use, super high end, commercial grade, homeowner top of the line. Uh, we don't know how many coats it's going to cover in. We hope to, and that's what we charge for, maybe more. We've had an issue in the past. I can remember it clear as day where we had to put 5 coats of a bright yellow on, and it still didn't look tremendous. And the homeowner could not understand why we had to, or she had to incur the cost of those additional coats. Um, we just can't keep painting and painting and painting when it's a homeowner's issue because they've chosen a color that invariably usually has issues covering or hiding. So, and we don't know that at the time of the estimate. So it's hard for the estimator or the painting company or the contractor to know every little unforeseen issue that may pop up. When you're building an addition or a deck or you're renovating your bathroom, I know you understand that things pop up. They might get behind the wall and there might be an issue with the electrical work. There might be an issue with the piping. It's going to cost extra money. It should not be expected that the contractor is going to eat that price. So what we typically would recommend and what I do at my house is make sure when I have a price, an estimate, we have additional funds in case some things pop up. Um, like I said, it happens on exterior work a lot, happens on interior work with deep colors, or sometimes we can do the estimate and we might not get to the work for a month or two, depending on how busy we are. Same with other contractors. And within that month or two, maybe somebody punched a hole in the wall, or maybe the dogs scratched the wall all up, or there's a lot more patching, or you had a water leak. These are things that we wouldn't have seen, obviously, because we haven't been there for 4 weeks or so. They would be additional work. So as long as you're okay with getting a virtual estimate, which is super easy and super quick, and we feel it's the best way to do it, we can give you an idea of some rough but close pricing on what a typical project like yours would cost, and you're okay and not going to be hurt when we come out and tell you, hey, it's going to be a little more than we actually figured. Sometimes it's a little less. I've had many instances where it's a little less. Um, as long as you're okay with that and you understand, we're not trying to flip it up on you and charge you extra money. That's not what our company is about. And I think if you knew us, or most reputable contractors, they're not out to just keep charging and charging and charging. That's not the idea. We want the customer to be happy and have a great experience. But at the same time, it is a business. We're providing a living for our workers to be able to take care of their families and have a nice life. We're not paying our workers $10 an hour. We want to pay them as much as possible and give a fair price on a job. And with that comes charging the correct pricing. We're not running around working for cash. We don't have a bucket. That's the issue now is, to become a painter, you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy a bucket, some roller covers and a handle, and you're in the painting business. That doesn't mean you have a painting business. Keep that in mind. So uh, we have to charge the correct price. We have overhead, insurance, and all those other things that go into keeping a business running, being able to charge enough to buy new equipment. So, with that, again, an estimate is an estimate. It's not, it's very rare that an actual price can be given and something happens along the way of the job that is the actual price. It just doesn't happen that way. Sometimes it can, many times it does, but sometimes it doesn't. So happy project. Hopefully everything goes smooth with you and your project, no matter who you use. and just keep it in mind as you're going.